Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm very pleased to see some of my colleagues here, and also Mr. Morten Sondergaard. Please, I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not correct. And also I can see from our screen, Ms. Kristen Mariager.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I know that in Denmark now is morning, 8 o'clock more or less. So
yes, correct.
Yeah. In Kuala Lumpur now is 3 o'clock already. So we are 7 hours different time.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. And also I will check with our colleague as well here. I notice here from GBC Malaysia, Pak Rijini Ramlan. Good morning, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon from Putrajaya and everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Yes. And also, I notice here in our screen, let me check first. I would like to say good afternoon to our Mayor, Dato Yu Tung Siang from the Mayor of Penang Island. Good afternoon, Dato.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Padal and the rest. Greeting from Penang.
Thank you, Dato, for joining us this morning. And also check here, I will check first with Ibu Neti Muharni, and Assistant Deputy Ministers for Regional and Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs of Indonesia. Good morning, Ibu. Good afternoon, Ibu.
Yes, good afternoon, Pak. Greeting from Jakarta for everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bu. So it seems that we are already here. And so I think that with your permission, Ibu, and hopefully that we start our program.
Yes, please, Pak.
Yeah. So first of all, on this occasion, I would like to welcome everybody to our focus group discussion on energy efficiency. So I'm Firdaus Dahlan, Director of the CIMT in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Together with me, we have our team here, Deputy Directors, Mr. Muhammad Akhir, and also our Deputy Directors, Waria from Thailand, and also our project coordinators, Ms. Nida, the new project coordinators. So good afternoon and good morning to all of you. So first of all, thank you very much to all of the participants who can join us this morning, this afternoon, from all IMT-GT provinces and state, and also cities that we have sent the invitation to you. Today, we are very lucky. We will have our very important focus group discussion on energy efficiency. As we are aware, energy efficiency is one of the important elements for us, especially for the cities. As we are aware, we have also the sustainable urban development framework, where the energy efficiency one of the important elements for this one. And in this regard, I would also to thank Ibu Neti Muhami, Assistant Deputy Minister for Regional and Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs, to join us and also to open our discussion this afternoon. And further, I would also to thank our colleague to join Business Council, IMT-GT Business Council in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and also Thailand, which I believe that is also very important for the JBC to hear directly from our speakers on the energy efficiency. So thank you very much for our speakers also joining us. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Morten Sondergaard from Vice President Danish Energy Management, and also Mr. Yogana Tangaraju. He is Technical Director, Danish Energy Efficiency Partners in Malaysia, and also Ms. Kristen Mariager, Sector Head of Danish Energy Management International. So I don't want to prolong this opening. So further, allow me to invite Ibu Neti Mohami to deliver her opening remark. Ibu Neti, the floor is yours, Ibu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Firdaus, for the opportunity. It is an honor for me to be here today. Honorable Bapak Firdaus Dahlan, Director of CIMT, Honorable Mr. Morten Sondergaard, Vice President of Danish Energy Management, Denmark, Honorable Mr. Yogana Tangaraju, Technical Director of Danish Energy Efficiency Partners, Malaysia, Honorable Ms. Kristen Mariager, Sector Head of Danish Energy Management International, Denmark, all distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, selamat siang, sawadika, and goif tamideh. Hopefully I pronounce it right. And firstly, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to CIMT and Danish Energy Efficiency for organizing this virtual focus group discussion on energy efficiency, exploring joint project between IMT-GT with Danish Energy Efficiency Partners. The virtual FGD today reaffirmed our commitment to continue working on sustaining the development of economic growth despite the unprecedented situation due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As our discussion during the Chief Minister and Governors Forum, which was held on 18 November 2020, the forum shared their views and commitment to implement projects under IMT-GT Sustainable Urban Development Framework, or SUDF 2019-2036. I understand that all countries globally, including the IMT-GT countries, are facing a health emergency and economic crisis due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Governments around the globe are expediting the discussion on vaccine distribution, as well as it will serve as a game changer in order to restore the economy. Once we secure the vaccination, the process of economic recovery through reopening the economy would follow suit. At the same time, a government also concentrating on the exit strategy for recovery toward a more sustainable and resilient future. To build a better future, there is a significantly growing awareness on generating a green recovery. Hence, it is imperative to discuss the energy efficiency as part of our effort for a better recovery, as well as to address the issue of climate change. In this context, it is also imperative to discuss the use of renewable energy while reducing the share of fossil energy. All distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, energy consumption is one of the main drivers of economic growth. Most countries rely largely on different types of fossil fuels to meet their growing energy demand. Energy will continue to be central to our future economic growth and prosperity, but our region can no longer rely on fossil fuel to fulfill its energy needs. For this reason, while there is a significant effort to shift toward renewable energy, there is also a need to make energy use efficient, not only because of the scarcity of the resources, and the rising price of the fossil energy fuel, but also reducing the adverse impact of the climate change. Beyond the pressure of the climate change, the energy sector is also being tasked to address a broad array of sustainability concerns as outlined in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Sustainable Development Goal 7 provide a framework for energy development that balance the need of people, planet, and also prosperity. This is centered around universal access, increase efficiency, and a fast transition to a renewable energy. In line with the 2030 Development Agenda, IMT-GT Vision 2036 has targeted at least 40 green cities by 2036 in the sub-region. The Green Cities Action Plan that has been developed, followed by the Sustainable Urban Development Framework 2019-2036, has set out some targets to reduce emission and energy efficiency, as well as identify areas for intervention, such as transport, solid waste management, biodiversity, and so on, based on an analysis of country development context, national policy targets, and city and province specific development status and priorities, which would accelerate the development of green and sustainable cities in the sub-region. I believe that countries around the world, including in our sub-region, are united in transitioning to a future based on sustainable energy. IMT-GT as UDF on climate change has provided us an ambitious target on what our energy system needs to look like in the future. Low carbon, renewable based, high efficiency with universal access to all. Yet, how we navigate a path to this future is still a homework for us. In this regard, in the era of the digitalization, there are new opportunities deployed by fourth industrial revolution to improve efficiency, reduce emission, enhance reliability, optimize costs, and unlock new opportunities. Another thing that to note that one of the major challenges in implementing the green cities and SUDF is financing. To achieve the target, IMT-GT needs to realize an investment of around 16.9 billion US dollar until 2036 to support the implementation of the SUDF program with a target of reducing GHG of 6 million tons of carbon dioxide, fuel saving of 142 million liters, and reducing electricity consumption by 4.7 billion kilowatt hour. Given the current situation by the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a deep contraction of economic growth around the globe, even though there has been a sign of relief in the last quarter, despite still in negative growth. Governments still concentrating using their fiscal for recovery. Hence, the discussion on this matter would be important to seek alternative financing of green projects, including foreign direct investment, the scheme of public-private partnership scheme, and so on. Another note, to enable countries to reposition themselves on energy transition, we need to strengthen our sub-region cooperation. We face with the complexities of the advanced technologies, capacities, policies, and finance needed to usher in the energy transition. Countries cannot do it alone. Therefore, I highly appreciate the forum today. Hopefully, there will be some solution and recommendation on issues of local government concerned during the discussion. I also commend the network between the local government and the Danish energy efficiency and other potential development partners, and also welcome your cooperation, support, and ideas. All distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the organizers again for convening the important event. which stresses critical aspect of implementation, especially on the energy efficiency. I wish you a very fruitful discussion, and I look forward to the outcome of this important event. For the next step, I hope we could work together in developing a concrete, feasible, bankable, and doable project to support our vision. Thank you very much. Pak Firdaus, I turn it back to you.
Thank you very much, Ibu Neti. You pointed out already some important point in your remark, Ibu. That is, we admitted that this is very, very important for us for going forward. You touch about the sustainable energy, how we have to reduce the low carbon emission and also to increase efficiency. And you mentioned as well about the challenges that we are facing at the moment, particularly on the financing, and also the how to make the bankable project in the future. That is all what you have mentioned, Ibu. That is indeed, that is the problem or the challenges that we are facing at the moment in the sub-region. So hopefully, Ibu, by the collaboration, partnership with the DEEP, DEM, Danish Energy Management, so we are confident, Ibu, we can do our job, even though it is perhaps not all of them, but we are positive on this one to reduce this problem in the future. Ibu, thank you very much, Ibu Neti, for your important remarks. I know that you are busy as well in Jakarta. And before you are leaving, Ibu Neti, I would like to invite you and all our colleagues for the photo session. So please, for the all participants, please click on your screen now. So we will have the photo session first. Okay, I will count until 3. Our colleague here will take the photo. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ibu Neti.
Thank you, Pak Firdaus. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ibu. With your permission, Ibu, we will continue with our agenda item.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Ibu. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the real FGD at the moment. So we will have, for this session, we will have very important speakers from Danish Energy Management and also from DEEP. As I mentioned earlier, so our speakers for today, for this afternoon and morning in Copenhagen, in Denmark. So number one is Mr. Morten Sondergaard. So Mr. Morten Sondergaard at the moment is the Vice President of the Danish Energy Management. He has been with the company for a long time already. I think that more than 20 years. He's very experienced expert, and he has also 25 years experience, particularly in energy efficiency and renewable energy, and also members of the international professional, and also involved in a key project in many countries as well. That is Mr. Morten Sondergaard. Under the agenda 2, introductions of Danish Energy Management and DEEP from Vice President Mr. Morten Sondergaard, Denmark. So Mr. Morten Sondergaard, so we will have around 20 minutes for this one. And then the flow of our discussion like this. So we will hear the presentation from all of our speakers first. So after Mr. Sondergaard for 20 minutes, more or less. And then I will invite as well later on our colleague, Mr. Yoganath Tenggaraju, the Director of DEEP, Malaysia. And then followed later on by Mr. Christian Mariager as this last our speaker. So each of the speakers will have more or less 20-minute time to make presentation. And then we will follow by the discussion with the participant, more or less 25 minutes. So that is the flow of our discussion this afternoon. And now without further ado, allow me to invite our speakers, Mr. Morten Sondergaard, to have your presentation. The floor is yours, Mr. Morten. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, honorable guests, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, good colleagues. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be able to be joining this focus group discussion on energy efficiency. First of all, I just want from a technical point of view to hear whether you are now able to see my screen.
Yes, Morten.
Yes, okay, good. So thank you very much. It's has been a very, very strange year the last 11 months because a year ago we were all expecting that the global economy were set to be double over in size over the next 20 years. And I think still that the recovery from the COVID pandemic will show that it will be recovering very fast. This doubling of size over the next 20 years does not mean that it will need twice as much energy to power all the extra cars, homes, and factories such a growth will bring. But by taking the availability of opportunity to become more energy efficient, we would need only the same amount of energy we use today. This result would be a global economy with reduced emission, lower pollution, and enhanced energy security. We would live more comfortable lives and receive lower energy bills, which is also a very important part of it. The question is no longer why energy efficiency, but how. And I will start my presentation with telling a little bit about the Danish history on energy and also the development in energy in Denmark with focus on energy efficiency. Because energy has actually been the foundation of our company, Danish Energy Management, which I will explain you shortly. Denmark is located in the northern part of Europe. We have only about 6 million people living in Denmark. We are having a country with only 43,000 square kilometers of country. And many are saying that Denmark is in many statistics looking like the happiest country in the world. I don't know if that is correct, but it is a country where we are having a unique geographic position, but also a country where we don't have any minerals. We are very dependent on the development of our education sector and the talent by the people that's living in the country. Denmark has been transformed from being an agricultural country now to be going through an industrial process and is now going to be a more knowledge-based society. Did you actually know that the Danish pastry is not coming from Denmark, by the way? It's actually coming from Vienna. So that is maybe also some of the things that in Denmark that words are linked to Denmark, but maybe has not really a connection to Denmark. That is one of the challenges we sometimes are facing. One of the interesting things here in Denmark compared to Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand is of course that the highest point in Denmark is only 173 meters above the sea. So we don't have any hills, and therefore it is a wonderful biking country. So a lot of transportation in the cities are based on bicycling. Also, of course, that our climate is is very different from the climate that you are having in your part of the world. We are having cold winters. Actually, 2 weeks ago, we had here minus 18 degrees Celsius, snow outside, and now today we are having 9 degrees plus. All the snow has melted, so we are just moving into our spring period, and that is then building up to our summer period, where we are typically having up to 23, 25 degrees. Denmark were the Danish energy policy and the history of energy is actually not very old in Denmark. It is only going back to the oil crisis, the global energy crisis back in 1973, where we in Denmark actually at that time were forced to be rethinking our energy policy, because 90% of all energy were imported in Denmark in 73. And when we was hit by the oil embargo, we realized how vulnerable actually Denmark were. And also that we was taken by surprise that nobody knew actually very much about how much energy we was using in Denmark and how it was consumed and where it was consumed. So we were simply just taken by surprise that we have been so dependent on imported fuel, and actually that due to that the oil prices were so low, as you can see on this illustration here, that within a few years the oil price were tripling, that it had an extremely big impact on the economy in our country. So therefore it led to that we in Denmark were forced to be rethinking our policy. And one of the things that this oil craze led to were that there was coming a lot of interest in renewable energy and also energy efficiency. And the wind industry was starting slowly up in the late 70s. One of the first wind turbines was built in 1978. And the exploration of oil and gas in the North Sea were starting also at that time. So there was happening a major change in the supply sector in Denmark, which we now, when we're looking at the history, and somehow I feel myself being a part of that history, because back in 73, where we was having this oil crisis and energy crisis, I can also remember that we was having a period where you were not allowed to your cars on Sundays. We were only entitled to heat up to 18 degrees indoor. So there was a lot of implication in the daily life here in Denmark, which led to that this Danish energy revolution was starting. And back in the first period here, and that was in the late 70s, the main focus were this issue on security of supply, that we were simply need to be sure that we would be able to survive as a country, not being dependent on all this imported fuel that we did up to 73. That was actually leading to also that energy planning for the Danish society was starting, and that was completed at the end of the 17th, around actually 1978. The first Danish energy plan were developed, and there was then given instruction and working on developing energy plans on all regions and all municipalities. From the 1919, based on this planning, there were seen a lot of options for changing the energy structure in Denmark. And one of the important elements were that to be moving towards having a multifaceted energy policy where several energy sources were used for electricity production, and for heating of our houses. And that was also here important that renewable energy and energy efficiency were playing a role. And that was where really the Danish wind energy took fart and was lifted up and becoming an industry. And to that end, the market liberalization, which started 20 years ago in Denmark with opening the electricity market, opening the heating and gas market, were quite important political tools, because that led to that it would possible to be selling and transporting this wind energy that was produced from our wind turbines, but it was also making possible for the electricity company to be basing their production on other types of fuels. And it was also possible for many of the district heating systems that was responsible for the heating of the cities to change their fuel, to be basing that on wood pellets or straw. So biomass for heating purpose is actually playing quite significant role. As of today, last year, more than 60% of all electricity in Denmark were generated from wind energy. And more than 50% of all heat were produced from renewable energy. So it means that the society in Denmark has really been transformed from being this fossil society to being a society that's now basing itself on renewable energy and being fossil free. Last year in July, the Danish government and parliament decided that the Danish carbon emission should be reduced to 70% of the level we had in 1919 by 2030. So that means that within the next 9 years, Denmark will have further to decrease the carbon emission. And to that end, there is, of course, a lot of focus on all tools that can be assisting in that way. One of these important tools is actually, of course, energy efficiency. These generic things, the generic explanation of that issues that is related to energy crisis and the solutions of energy crisis have I just shown here, where you can see that energy efficiency is actually one of the solutions on many of these issues that the energy crisis has given us and been forcing us to be rethinking ways of things we are doing. But the energy efficiency is, of course, not standing alone. Energy efficiency has to be a part of a lot of different elements and measures that's solving that. And to that end is the energy policy, of course, extremely important. There are the incentives that is going hand in hand with the policy. To that end, Denmark has been introducing a number of green incentives, including tax credits, that has been supporting this change of the energy system in Denmark. I think that we have been doing a lot of things here in Denmark, as I said, in the last 30 years, but much more has to be done in the years to be coming. And when we're talking about energy, it's of course also important to recall that energy is not only a thing that each single country has to do. It is actually part of the global issues that we are all facing. And to that end, Denmark has of course been starting very actively in the international work by signing the Kyoto Protocol back in 2015, being involved and in the development in all international forum. Since then, Denmark were hosting the COP15 in Copenhagen back in 2009. So that is more than 11 years ago now. And we were signing the Paris Climate Agreement. So Denmark has been following that very carefully and are quite ambitious about the international cooperation. Also, again, recalling that Denmark is just a very small country. So now I will just say a few things about some of the issues that also is important when we're talking about the energy efficiency and the measures you can be using for achieving energy savings. And to that end, this illustration here on the demand side management back from 2015 and up to now is giving an indication of how one of these instruments on energy labeling of appliance has been developing over the years, where it was when it was introduced in 1994, there was introduced an energy labeling system, and that has been improved several times since. So the new system that you are seeing that was introduced in 2019 is taking into account that in general, all equipment in Denmark has now to be marked with an energy label. And that label is not only telling you something now about the energy consumption, but also saying something about how much noise it is giving and that sort of thing. So it's having much more features than the first label back from 94, but also that has actually been leading to that there has been a lot of attention in the population on energy efficiency, and people are aware of the importance of energy efficiency for the entire society. And this is actually one of the element in the education system, that children in schools are learning about energy, they are learning about renewable energy, and they're also learning about energy efficiency. The demand side management has actually been an important element of the energy planning in Denmark, where a lot of efforts has actually been given to the electricity companies and the oil and gas companies, that they have to play and give an obligation to take care of that the consumption is going down and people being more efficient. So the government has instructed the Danish utility to be active in reducing their sales, to be reducing the electricity sale they are having. And they have been giving special funds from the electricity tariff that is given to that the electricity companies having an obligation to reduce the consumption by people and to be running specifically demand side management program by the consumers. That can be sounding strange that many are believing that the companies are only having an interest in selling energy producing and selling as much electricity as possible, but actually here they have an important and significant role in reducing the consumption, is getting money for taking care of reducing the consumption as a part of the tariff. Our company, management group, were actually founded more or less at the time when the energy crisis were at the highest level. And that is maybe also one of the reasons too, that energy is one of the foundation stones in the company and is a part of our DNA. We have today about 80 experts. We have been starting off our activities in Denmark, but then been expanding activities around in the world. And we have been active in Southeast Asia since 1990s and have had an office in Kuala Lumpur since that time. Our focus has been on, in the entire period, on climate change, energy efficiency, renewable energy. We have naturally moved into the direction of sustainability and Kirsten Mariager will later tell about this work that we have been doing the recent year, and where we are seeing huge opportunities and huge challenge, not only in Denmark, but in the world. We have for many years been engaged in public-private partnership, and we have had the pleasure of being working in all the countries. I think there's attending this important forum today. We're working both in Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. And in all these countries, we have been working with energy, and we've been working with energy efficiency. Company were started and still owned by Mr. Franz Lonke. There's the founder of the company back in '86. And we have in the company a track record where we have been expanding our activities around in the world, but still been able to keep the focus on sustainability and renewable energy and energy efficiency. We have in 2015 been establishing and registering Danish energy efficiency partners in Malaysia to spearhead energy auditing and energy efficiency service, and doing energy efficiency implementation projects in Malaysia. We have in 2017, we were really having focus on the development of the Sustainable Development Goals system and starting a reporting on that. And we have trying to be working also international in the last 12 months, although that many of us has been locked down either in Denmark or around in the world, but we have found a way still to be cooperating, being working together, but sitting apart, as we are saying. Our energy audit experience is based on different types of challenges and buildings. We have been looking at the hotels, we have been looking at the shopping malls, we have been looking at hospitals, we have been looking at administration buildings. So we have been doing a lot of work on energy efficiency in different types of buildings. We have been implementing many of these projects. We have been doing that not only outside Denmark, but also here in Denmark, where we have been implementing a lot of energy efficiency projects for municipality and for the government by improving the building with insulation, with new windows, with replacing of inefficient bulbs with energy efficient bulbs. So we have been completing more than 300 public buildings in Denmark, and I think that totally the magnitude of that work, the retrofitting work, is more than about $100 million. As I just mentioned, we have been present in Southeast Asia since 1999, and we have had the pleasure of working in the IMT region in that period. We have recently, actually just in last week, we were signing a contract with GIZ and the Dutch government to be assisting on energy program in Indonesia. As a small assignment that will be running for the next 6 months, where we will be looking into a program that is coming to an end and seeing for possible improvements. So good that still keeping the contact to the region, and good to keeping also contact not only with the central government, but also be working with local government and coming out in the field and seeing what is actually happening there. That has been very important for all our activities, that we are working together with all parts of society in order to get the best understanding of how we can be assisting and coming up with the best solution, and be focusing on how we are working together. So our business concept is dealing on energy, as I mentioned already, and in the following presentations from my colleagues, you will hear more about our EPC energy performance contract concept. You will also hear more about our sustainable development goals. And with these words, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Morten Søndergaard. I think this is very interesting presentation from you. It is very impressive, you know, the story, you know, the how Denmark become the leading become the leading of the country at the moment in climate change mitigation. So explains you explained about the story before, you know, starting in 1970s with the energy crisis, and now you continue to develop, you know, how to reduce your dependence on carbon energy, and now become renewable energy now, wind energy, and so on. You know, so it's very interesting. Again, as explained before, the DEM is the company founded in 1986, and one of the leading international consulting and specialized on the energy, climate, and urban development sectors. You have been operating in many countries already, in Africa, in EU, in Asia, and many part of country in the world more. So I think that we will bring, we are seeking your expertise, you know, how you can apply the expertise from experience from DEM, Danish energy management, to be applied here more in IMT-GT countries. I believe that you have experience in some of our members, but we have more local governments, members of IMT-GT. As you are aware, so we are now 32 provinces and states in IMT-GT with 80 million people in the sub-region. So we have 10 provinces in Sumatra, we have 8 states in Malaysia, and we have 14 provinces in southern part of Thailand. So I believe that they are all looking forward to collaborate with how we can materialize this our cooperation in the future. So thank you very much, Mr. Morten Søndergaard, for your presentation. And we will come to the Q&A later on after we finalize with all of the speakers. Thank you very much. And now let me invite our colleague, Mr. Yoganath Tangaraju, Senior Consultant, Danish Energy Management, and Technical Director for Southeast Asia, Danish Energy Efficiency Partners. He has been with the company for more than 10 years, and also has conducted many key projects in 15 years. And also he is also members of some professional bodies, including in International Register of Certificate Auditors, IRCA. So Mr. Yoga is our close friend here, and he also attended IMT-GT meeting several times. So Mr. Yoga is no longer new to us, he's our partners. So hopefully after this, you know, we'll listen from Mr. Yoga first, and then we will seek the comments or Q&A from our colleague. So, Mr. Yoga, without further ado, I will invite you for your presentation. The floor is yours, Mr. Yoga, please.
All right, thank you, Bapak Firdaus, for the introduction. And I really appreciate this opportunity for Danish Energy Efficiency Partners and Danish Energy Management to be not only presenting in this focus group discussion, but also sharing our concepts and exchanging ideas. And I would also like to extend my appreciation to Ibu Neti Muharni and also Datuk Mayor for joining us today. Now, without further ado, I will step into my presentations and share my screen right away. So I hope my screen is visible now. All right. Yeah, Danish Energy Efficiency Partners, in short, DEEP is an ESCO company. ESCO meaning Energy Service Company, providing services typically in energy efficiency, covering consultancy works, energy audit works, but mainly we are focused on energy performance contracting. Energy performance contracting, just to give a bit of a background, is like our typical engineering build, own, transfer sort of turnkey setup, but it has a bit more aspect to it. Of course, it needs to incorporate energy efficiency and a part of renewable energy into it. Now, a part of the turnkey services, when we say turnkey, it's project management, monitoring, handing a proper, reliable project to client, hence the word turnkey. EPC projects also contain comprehensive energy efficiency or energy savings measures. EPC projects has to include project financing, or at least in most cases, it includes project financing. And of course, this is a point of discussion or even a debate among building owners and ESCOs is what we call as the guarantee of the savings. How we guarantee the savings has changed over the years, in the last, I think 15, 20 years, ever since this EPC concept has been on the mainstream market when it comes to energy efficiency. Now, Danish Energy Efficiency Partners provide a holistic range of services when it comes to EPC. We conduct the audit, energy audit, to give the client confidence, to some sort of an awareness on where they are, because energy audits typically will set the baseline of the client's current or present energy consumption or energy consumption and demand, peak demand. So apart from that, then we also take care of the project management or the non-technical part of the entire works, where we look at manpower solutions and then procurement solutions, arranging for financing for the client, and then the technical part, the design and engineering works. And of course, the entire works on site will be managed by DEEP. Now, when the project is completed, the concept extends periodic maintenance and also monitoring from DEEP. Now, DEEP is a combination of the Danish management group, where technical services or consultancy energy services has been on the forefront since 1986 as far as DMG or Danish Energy Management is concerned. Then 49% of DEEP is owned by the Danish Climate Investment Fund, which is a fund for developing countries that seeks to invest in building energy efficiency sector, not on the new building side, but on existing buildings. So this is basically our setup. We act, like I mentioned, we act as a one-stop shop for EE solutions, ensuring audit, engineering, procurement, financing, project management, monitoring is achieved for the client. Now, when it comes to retrofitting works, we target and we envisage to look at large-scale retrofitting works. Okay, whether in Denmark or in Southeast Asia, we have hardly worked on projects that are termed as pilot scale. We look at municipalities, we work with provinces, we have worked with state governments, we have provided our EPC energy efficiency solutions to various clients in Manila, in Middle East, in UAE, and more actually, yeah. Also for the Songkhla province, I think back in 2016 or 17, we did not a comprehensive energy audit report, but a combination of walkthrough and energy investment grade energy audit report for about 9 or 10 buildings. So when it comes to energy efficiency measures, these are the solutions, and of course there are more, but these are typically the solutions that we provide. It's in the range of ventilations, cooling systems, lighting systems, solar thermal systems, solar PV systems, and so on. Since the last 2 years, DEM, Danish Energy Management, being the parent of DEEP, has ventured into the in thing now when it comes to controls. We call it IoT sensors. We believe with the hardware side of the works that we are executing for clients, coupled with the in-house IoT sensors that we are pushing now to the market back in Denmark, we will be able to achieve more, especially for regions in Southeast Asia. Now, coming to narrowing down to the EPC, these are the 6 core concepts of DEEP's EPC. Now, we provide financial security. We work on projects to ensure that there are more savings to client. Now, of course, DEEP is somehow a private company. Back in Denmark, it's considered a GLC. We use the term GLC in Malaysia. I also believe it's commonly used in Southeast Asia. GLC meaning government-linked company. Back in Denmark, we are 49% owned by the Danish government through, as I mentioned, the fund, Danish Climate Investment Fund. So being in such a situation or a setup, we are always focusing on achieving more measures, energy saving measures for the client. Hence, more savings, hence more investment. Apart from energy efficiency measures, the work we'll do will indirectly ensure there's an indoor ambient improvement. Now, meaning to say, when we go in, for example, when we go in and change tube lights in a particular office area or meeting room, we will ensure we are using lighting systems that are efficient, cutting down typically anywhere between 40 to 60% on energy consumption. And then B, it's also meeting the particular province or country's energy standards. For instance, in Malaysia, we have Malaysian standards 1525, and then it's spelled out that office rooms or meeting rooms need to have typically at least, I believe, 250 lumens of light intensity. So this is how we work. And then our concept of EPC does not ride on EPC alone. Since the last few years, I think easily the last 3 or 4 years, we have come out of selling EPC as the typical EPC itself. And we have combined what we term as capacity building, ensuring there is a knowledge transfer apart from tech transfer. There needs to be a knowledge transfer with the clients we work with, especially when it's state governments, when it's provinces. And on top of that, we are on the forefront of providing sustainable development goals consultancy services, where we believe coupling EPC with capacity building and SDG goal services is the way forward in the region. And then our performance guarantee works in a way that we adapt and execute IP-MVP methodology, International Performance Measurement and Verification Protocol. And to be fair to client and EPC, there will be a joint coordination or a third-party involvement when we come to guaranteeing the savings. And the works we do are comprehensive, meaning to say the retrofitting we do is comprehensive. We do not work on measures that provide only the highest savings, only the highest ROI, but we tend to include more measures to ensure that clients can benefit comprehensively looking at a particular building. Now, just picking out the innovative concept part alone, our services today includes cloud-based systems for the client. Of course, coupling the IoT sensors, we want to ensure that the data captured, once the project is ongoing, is transparent, is available at fingertips for the client, apart from us as the ESCO. It's important to monitor data, as frequent as possible, ensuring that the energy savings is realized. Even when we approach manufacturers, suppliers, technical service solutions providers today, there is an issue with getting better package or better specifications out of a particular contracting service. With DEEP or with an ESCO, we can achieve, when we achieve economies of scale, that means we work on multiple buildings, our orders are in bulk, we demand for the most reliable and the most efficient solutions from manufacturers. We are able to negotiate better on warranty, periodic maintenance, and also simply on the after-sales support. As I mentioned, our innovative concept includes Sustainable Development Goals principle, and we are really targeting to expand SDG business, not only in Malaysia, but also in Indonesia and Thailand and also the region actually. Now, this is the organization for IP-MVP. In Malaysia, it's governed by an organization called EVO. I myself got certified under what we call as CIMT certificate to ensure that we understand the principles of IP-MVP. But when it comes to project management, when it comes to guaranteeing the savings, of course, we have to ensure that there is transparency, fairness in guaranteeing the savings for clients. Now, I will touch on a few principles of our work. I will be getting into some specifications, so it is important that we are explaining, we are sharing all these knowledges as frequent as possible, as an ESCO to the client. Now, one of the very first steps that we embark on when we get to a contract or with a client, we agree to deliver services as an ESCO and in EPC is we conduct the investment grade audit. Now, our works investment grade audit complies to ASHRAE's American Society for Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers. It complies to at least level 2 and in most cases level 3 type of audit. Level 3 is the highest level in ASHRAE audits. IGA needs to be carried out because we need to understand the building's baseline or load profile, how the equipments are performing during baseline, and what are the savings potential for client. Otherwise, we won't be able to gauge how much client can benefit from our services, or is it too risky or unnecessary for us to step in and provide services in EPC. Like I mentioned, it's key to set the baseline. It's key for clients to understand where their energy consumptions are and what are the potential energy savings moving forward, with an ESCO like DEEP. Our IGA works are typically tied through a memorandum of understanding. We have done that in Philippines, we have done that in Middle East, we have worked on MOUs, contracts in Southern Thailand, in Bangkok, Central Thailand. Of course, we have also worked with Malacca state government, which is a member country, member state of IMT. So typically we will start with a memorandum of understanding to ensure that once again, there is a transparency on what sort of service that we are providing. But having said that, prior to stepping into an investment grade audit or memorandum of understanding, we on multiple occasions have provided our potential clients, with capacity building first, trainings, sharing of our knowledge to ensure that clients are clear what sort of a service or a comprehensive service that they can expect from DEEP. Now, financing is one of the frequently debated topic or aspect when it comes to energy performance contracting. Back in 2013, when we first tinkered with the idea of venturing into energy performance contracting service as an ESCO company, there was a lot of a significant amount of EPC related topics that was focusing on financing alone, and it's the same today. So I believe the debate will always be there, how clients are benefiting from ESCO providing the finance, or how ESCO can benefit if clients are coming up with their own financing. It all depends on the one-to-one contract and what exactly is spelled out in the contract. Our concept of EPC has a complete life cycle. So that's why we stress on ensuring there's always investment apart from monitoring works for the client. For instance, for Malacca state government, the investment was 100% equity based. Actually, we didn't work with any local banks or international or even foreign banks. We came out with our own equity, ensuring that the project went on smooth without any delay. In fact, the first, as I recall, I was the project manager, and Morten, my managing director, Mr. Morten Sondergaard, was the project director for Malacca Phase 1. Our first works on the ground was initiated within 4.5 months of signing and stamping the contract. So we rolled out our works that fast to ensure that the 3 buildings that we worked on in Malacca back in 2016, back in 2015, were not facing any delays in receiving our solutions. Now, bear in mind, apart from all the technical and performance-related risk, all financing risk will be absorbed by DEEP. Having said that, it is only fair and common, as we believe, that ESCOs absorb these 2 main risks when it comes to EPC services. Our services are guaranteed by an organization back in Denmark called EKF. For instance, in Malacca, the payment from the state governments are guaranteed by Export Credit Fonden, EKF, back in Denmark. It's important that we have a credit guarantee mechanism to ensure that, ESCOs or the building owner or the client do not face any hiccups during the contracting phase. design and engineering procurement services. Design and engineering is the backbone of Danish energy management. Since 1986, Danish energy management has participated in projects that have been highly successful, not only back in Denmark, but across Europe, in Middle East. Very recently, we provided consultancy services to the Sultanate of Oman, ensuring that they have procurement policy in place to move forward when it comes to energy efficiency solutions. Apart from that, we have been very strong in the region since at least 2005 when it comes to developing clean solutions for industries, mainly palm oil millers, cement companies. When I first joined DEM back in 2008, I alone handled about 8 to 10 projects, dealing in renewable energy systems and ensuring there is efficiency in the solutions that we were providing. So again, in this slide, you can see all technical and performance risk, which is part of the entire design and engineering process, will be absorbed by DEEP. Now, coming to EPC stages, this is a typical graph that we use to explain to client how EPC affects the energy consumption on site or the energy aspects on site. Now, the first bar that you see is the typical baseline. That means as of now, the client energy consumption is over here. This is the energy cost that the client is paying to the local electricity or utility provider. And then this is the stage when the client gets into an EPC contract with an ESCO like DEEP. The ESCO will promise and guarantee the energy reduction. So this new line over here is the client's current energy consumption level, and this is the energy cost. Now, this entire savings in here will be split between ESCO and the client. Very typically, during the contracting stage over here, this is the contracting stage. That means the contract is inactive. ESCOs typically take anywhere between 60 to 80% to ensure payback is achieved and also a shorter repayment period. The moment contract between ESCO and client has ended, client will absorb all savings spelled out and guaranteed under the contract. So this is very typical, and we have provided the services to Malacca state government and and also back in Europe and Denmark. If there are any discussions relating to this or any clarifications, we will take it later during the panel discussion. Now, having explained how ESCO and EPC works and how DEEP is providing our service within these concepts, these are the advantage points of DEEP's service. Now, one of the first things I explained earlier was we always, or almost on all occasions, undertake EPC as a large-scale sectoral program. We hardly look at individual buildings or pilot stage projects because we are trying to maximize our investment and ensuring at the same time clients enjoy a comprehensive set of energy saving measures. Okay, we provide services which are holistic. We take care of audit, design engineering, financing, implementation, monitoring, and we ensure that client throughout the entire stage, be it from energy audit up to providing the solutions turnkey on site, there is no investment for clients. So that means all financing risk is on DEEP. our retrofits are real, similar to turnkey projects, similar to engineering projects. We are not promising clients some sort of an energy saving device or only building control systems or, typically like that. We undertake real projects. That means if a client is having a HVAC system that needs an overhaul, probably it's 20-25 years, it's probably having a COP of less than 2.5 or 2. When DEEP conducts the audit, then if there is a need to change the systems to put in something that's efficient, DEEP will undertake these measures and provide it to the client. We firmly believe that capacity building needs to be part of our concept. Without capacity building, just conducting the turnkey project on site and receiving payments from the client on a monthly basis or on a periodic basis will not raise the awareness of the client or the region that we are working at the moment. There are more points in here, so I will maybe pick a few and spell it out. One of our strengths in providing these EPC services is we also work with buildings that are not feasible to be retrofitted. It could be because of the systems that they use within the buildings. It could be because the buildings have too small of a footprint and it doesn't use systems that significantly contribute to energy consumption. We do undertake non-feasible buildings to ensure that the service we provide is enjoyed across the state or province. Our guarantee of performance, bullet number 3, is through what we call a typical measurement and verification during commissioning, where it will be conducted through, like I mentioned, IP MVP concepts, ensuring transparent third-party verification, and we will fix the savings from there onwards. Now, coming to this graph, this is a building that we have retrofitted in Malacca. It's called Wisma Negeri. Basically, it's the land office of Malacca state government. Now, let me explain here. The blue line or the blue graph that you see is actually the energy consumption. The orange graph is actually the energy cost. The line over here is the baseline. The line over here is the energy cost baseline. So works in this building began as early as first quarter of 2016. We already started working on the controls before the hardware solutions came in. So you can see from there onwards, these are the baseline situation. From there onwards up to now, I think this is up to August or September 2020, the building has enjoyed a steady amount of energy savings. The typical solutions that we worked in, I think easily about 6 or 7 energy saving measures. We cut across lighting measures, HVAC solutions, also ensuring that the building's incoming load did not necessarily be high. So all in all, we managed an energy saving of about 32% if you average it, comparing to the baseline. And till to date, we are somehow achieving a slightly higher number than 32% actually. So the more or the additional savings above, on top and above, that is achieved during the performance guarantee stage. If during the performance guarantee stage, we achieve a saving of 32%, and after 2 or 3 years, there is a bigger amount of savings, let's say 35%, due to continuous monitoring service that we put in due to the SDG related service that we invest in these buildings, all the additional savings will go to the client. DEEP will only absorb payments that is contractually stated and what is set during the performance guarantee stage. Now I'm just sharing here some pictures from our works in the region and also in GCC Middle East. We can see here, this is the hospital in Malacca where our engineers are. Actually, this was a reset for the operating theaters in the hospital that we needed to go in and do for the client. This is part of what we call as continuous assistance monitoring for the client that we provide on a continuous basis during the contracting stage. And then we can see here, this is me, where we had to bring in a third-party electrical engineer to work on a challenge at the Wisma Negeri building, where they had an issue with earthing, and somehow this only popped up after we finished the works, but we managed to solve it, I think within a month or so, by putting in additional equipments to ensure that there is no leakage or earthing current that was jeopardizing the equipment on site. These are all the areas, the region, the provinces that we have worked in. Now, we have provided a combination of services. As some of you all are aware, when it came to Malacca, we provided the full spec of services, including financing. All in all, the retrofitting works were completed within 1 year from initiation. In Manila, we worked with an esteemed Danish organization called CIMT, where we provided our consultancy services for quite a number of shopping malls in Manila, mainly Walter Mart group of malls, where we provided the solutions for them to embark on the energy savings moving forward. Similarly, we also did the same to World Trade Center in Metro Manila, and this is in the Pasay region in Manila. And then, as I mentioned before, this is a nice image of, I believe, the governor's office in Songkhla. All in all, it was 9 buildings, a couple of universities, a couple of hospitals. I believe it was the PSU hospital in Songkhla, and we did an audit report for the Songkhla province to embark on moving forward actually on energy savings. We have also embarked in at least 2 or 3 ventures in the Middle East. Over here, in Dubai, we were invited by the Danish embassy to provide consultancy and energy management solutions for the Dubai municipality and a university in the Sharjah province. So we are active, we are constantly providing our services. Even in the last 1 year, we have undertaken, we have maintained our support for our clients. We have undertaken the virtual way of connecting with new and potential clients, like today in here. And we will be continuing to be active in the region. Now, that's all from me. I hope and expect to take in questions, ideas during the panel discussion sessions later. Once again, Bapak Firdaus, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yoga. I think it is a very clear and very comprehensive presentation. You mentioned several important points in your presentation just now. One thing that is very interesting for me, you are not only offering the business partnership with partners with IMT-GT countries, but you are also going ready to provide a capacity building as well. This is also very, very important for our sub-region. So we will discuss further, Mr. Yoga, about this one. I believe that our colleagues, the participant is so eager to ask this question further later on. So it's very, very good scenario now from Denmark experience. Now you explain about detail about the EPC. You have best practice with Malacca and also some cities as well in IMT-GT in Songkla. So I think that is already the best practice on the ground.
Thank you.
So I believe that we have more cities, local government would like to explore collaboration with you. Thank you very much, Mr. Yoga. And then our last speakers now, I would like to invite Ms. Kristen Mariager. She is now head of engineering department, our division. So she is also members of some professional bodies, DANFAC, Danish Society for Heat and Indoor Climate Change Technique, and also this is also very important for us is UN Sustainable Development Goal Network, and also UN Sustainable Development Goal Data Network, and also Urban Green Council, New York. This is also very important for us since we have the document now as UDF, Sustainable Urban Development Framework until 2036. So Ms. Kristen Mariager is also very experienced, over 20 years experience as technical advisor on design, procurement, and monitoring of energy efficiency project, and also solar water heating and solar photovoltaic project. So she is also experienced in many key projects in many countries, 21 countries. If I look at your CV, it's very interesting, covering Africa countries, Asia as well, and also China, and also USA. This is fantastic. And Ms. Kristen Mariager will share with us under the topic today, experience on Sustainable Development Goal implementation in Denmark. So without further ado, I will invite you, Ms. Kristen Mariager, and the floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Director Mr. Dalan. And it's very nice for me to meet all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now share my screen with you and start my presentation. And I hope you can see my screen. Okay, I will try to give you a brief introduction into the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, and how it could be turned global issues into local opportunities, but also taking the offset in energy efficiency and deep energy retrofit, how these measures is extremely important for the world in general to reach these Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so just a second. For some reason, I can't change my slide. Okay, here we go. Sorry for that. Yes, as mentioned, I'm the head of sustainability management in our company, and I work worldwide. And we have been fortunate to assist local and private organizations all over the world in turning their business opportunities and the projects into the Sustainable Development Goals. And our clients covers more than, I can't count them nowadays. So it's all kind of clients, private sector clients in Denmark and abroad, state and municipalities, and across all sectors. And that is very important to mention, because this is the way the Sustainable Development Goals are possible to open for new business opportunities more than you normally work within. We are mainly focusing on assisting clients around the world within the energy efficiency sector and energy sector in general. But through the Sustainable Development Goals services that we provide, we have now provided services across a number of different sectors. And that's very important to keep in mind as well. We have clients around the world, as I said, private and public, and we also work for state governments around the world. So just very briefly about the Sustainable Development Goals. What are the goals? And maybe some of you are familiar with the goals already, but just very shortly, the Sustainable Development Goals were agreed by all countries in the world, more or less, back in 2015. And it consists of 17 goals, covering everything between no poverty, life below water, life on land, partnerships for the goals, gender equality, sustainable cities, and energy and climate change, and so on. And for each of those goals, there are targets. And there has been formulated a number of 169 targets. And for instance, goal number 7, which is about affordable and clean energy, we have 3 targets below that. And one of them talks about how to ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. Another one talks about how to increase substantially the share of renewable energy and in the global energy mix. And then the last one talks about how to double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. And that's one of the goals which is extremely important for what we are talking about today, that doing deep energy retrofit carried out through ESCOs or EPC or other contracts will have a huge, huge impact on these Sustainable Development Goals directly through Sustainable Development Goal 7, but also will have a positive impact on reducing our CO2 emission, which is formulated within goal number 13. Below each of these goals and targets, the UN has formulated specific indicators. And for each of these indicators, each of the countries that has signed up to the Sustainable Development Goals are supposed to monitor back on each of the countries' development in order to fulfill the goal through the specific indicators. But what is extremely important for me to say today is that all organizations, companies, private, public organizations can develop own relevant indicators. And if you take a look through into the SDG Compass developed by the UN Global Compact, you will find a number of very, very good recommendations how to develop your own indicators. And it makes it possible for you as an organization, private or public, to monitor your own progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals and the impact that you're actually doing within your own business or business line or services or activities, or through your projects or policies that adheres to your company or organization, community, state or region. So you can develop your own indicators in order to monitor progress towards, for instance, Sustainable Development Goal 7 that talks about affordable and clean energy. Moreover, a number of countries, for instance, Indonesia, has developed roadmaps in order to figure out how should we work with the Sustainable Development Goal at national level. And they have developed guidelines and roadmaps in order to support organizations, private, public organizations in their own countries, how to work with the Sustainable Development Goals, but also how to assist the local government in meeting the goals that they have signed up to through the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And what you see here, for instance, is the roadmap for Indonesia. I looked into it very briefly and I found it on the UNICEF website where you could actually see the roadmap in its full formulation. For each of the goals, the 17 goals, for instance, in this roadmap, there has been a formulation how to enhance the effort in order to improve the impact to each of the goals. And for this one here, for instance, it talks about goal 13, which is focusing on climate action. And for each of them, there has been a presentation of the baseline doing business as usual and how it will be improved if we do even a bit more in order to meet the SDG targets that each of these goals has been formulated and defined by the ministry in each of the countries, in this case for Indonesia. And you will see here for goal 13, it talks about how the climate change could be addressed through improved energy efficiency and implementation and improvement of renewable energy. So definitely what we talked about today about energy efficiency and ESCO opportunities is extremely important driver to meet not only Sustainable Development Goal 7, but also how to combat the climate action. So why work with the Sustainable Development Goals? And I think actually the CEO, Paul Polman at Unilever, says it very clear. To be a good business person, you need to know as much in the future about sustainability as you know about sales. You need to know as much about climate change as you know about your cash flow. So I think this is a driver that every business, private or public, should take into consideration that it's not enough anymore to talk about cash flow. You need exactly to know about the climate change and how to act on this agenda about sustainability in general. So these points here are some of the points that we have experienced through our work with the Sustainable Development Goals and what we can see why work with the Sustainable Development Goals, and it also reflects our own experiences in our own company, how we have been able to improve our business through the Sustainable Development Goals. But definitely it is used into businesses or organizations to stimulate the products and service into innovation in general. It also very, very much identify and develop new market segments. And it's not only for, it not only counts for private sector, it also counts for public organizations, how they could actually also generate new partnerships and establish new partnerships through addressing the Sustainable Development Goals. It strengthens the foresight management and compliance in general. We see a lot of pressure which has been put on tendering processes where companies and organizations are supposed, through their proposed projects and services, to demonstrate exactly how this solution will have an impact on the Sustainable Development Goal, and it should be communicated and it should be documented. It definitely increases sales. You can win market terrains by addressing the Sustainable Development Goals. It strengthens your brand, and it attracts also new employees. And indeed, it improves operational efficiency by looking into the Sustainable Development Goals, because it will open your eyes for seeing not only what are we doing today and how do we have a positive impact. It will also open your eyes in order to figure out where we're not doing good, where can we improve and do it even better. And then, of course, it establishes a common framework and a common language for sustainability that everybody understands worldwide, young, old people, professional, private people. Everybody understands the Sustainable Development Goals because it's a very communicative and visual way to talk about sustainability. Okay, looking into the Sustainable Development Goals within Danish energy management. As you have heard from my good colleagues Morten and Mr. Yoga, we work more or less day and night around the world with energy and energy efficiency. And it means that we have approved to take these 4 goals into our business strategy. And it is goal 7 about energy, 11 sustainable cities and communities, climate change and partnerships. These are the 4 goals that our values are aligned with, and our daily work actually has a huge contribution to. So back in 2015, we decided by joining the UN high-level forum in New York that we would work actively with the Sustainable Development Goals. And it would be a two-folded process. We would first of all take our own medicine, understand the goals and targets and indicators, and then we will try to assist our colleagues and partners and clients how they could actually benefit from the Sustainable Development Goals. And as Morten said, we started to develop a reporting system. So today we report back on all our projects that we are working on, also the projects that Yoga has presented to you. What are the impact of these projects towards these 4 goals that is important for Danish energy management? So every project managers report into our monitoring, SDG monitoring system. What are the goals relevant for this particular projects? And how has it been contributing in terms of saved kilowatt hours or tons CO2 or whatever is relevant for this particular goal. And what is strong about this monitoring system is also that it is interlinked with our accounting system. So we can see exactly how many hours that we spend on working within particular one of the goals. And we use it to formulate our strategy for the next year, but that we could see, okay, we need to do more effort by working within goal number 11, talking about climate action, and maybe work a bit less on energy efficiency, because we want to strengthen our activities in doing more impact on, for instance, goal 17 that talks about partnerships. And every year we develop our sustainability report, and it is uploaded and handed over to the United Nations Global Compact. And it is a very, very nice report, we think, of course, ourselves. It explains our own footprint, but also the impact that we actually do through our projects that we carry out for our clients. And last year, the reporting and our report and our methodology on doing and calculating our climate emission was actually awarded by the UN and the Danish Accounting Organization. So we are very proud of this year. We just launched our report a few weeks ago, and it is uploaded to our website, so you're more than welcome to visit it and find inspiration for how to report on sustainability. So today we offer a wide range of services within sustainability, and we assist clients in developing sustainability business strategies. We do materiality assessment and screening of the existing business and what they are doing actually right now, in order to figure out which of the Sustainable Development Goals are relevant for their particular organization. We assist the clients in developing new smart indicators so they can actually be able to monitor the progress. It's not enough just to put a label on and say, okay, we support Sustainable Development Goal 7 or 11 or 13 or whatever. You need to be able to monitor your progress, to be serious when you work with the Sustainable Development Goals. And unfortunately, we already have the terms now, SDG washing, as a greenwashing, because we see a number of companies and organizations that just say, okay, we work with Sustainable Development Goals, but when you ask them, how do you do it, and how can you actually argument and demonstrate and monitor your progress, then, well, they won't be able to answer. And this is the case that you definitely should avoid. So we stress the importance of being able to monitor your progress and document it. So we assist clients in developing monitoring progresses and methodologies which are aligned to the international standards defined by the UN. We also assist them in building up measurement systems and also developing cases and reports. And then, of course, what is most important, we are not doing it on our own. We do it in very, very close collaboration with the organization, and we train people and we do capacity building within the client's organizations in order to make them understand why is the Sustainable Development Goals important for my business, for my organization. How can I contribute through my daily work to reach these global goals, which also apply for my organization and my work. So it is extremely important to have these educational workshops and training sessions. Lately, we have been appointed by the Danish Ministry to translate the UN global goals into the Danish context, and this is very similar to what you saw that I presented earlier. How Indonesia also has been looking now into developing a roadmap on how should Indonesia, for instance, take actions on these international sustainable development goals. So we have been appointed by the Danish government and the parliament to work on an approach to translate and define and develop new indicators for some of the goals, these 5 goals that you see here. It was our responsibility to develop new indicators that the Danish Parliament can actually monitor progress on the Danish contributions to the Sustainable Development Goals. It was a huge work that we had a lot of interaction with this civil society, private organizations, because we wanted to hear these organizations, what do you find important for Denmark to monitor progress on? And we developed these indicators, which has been handed over to the Danish Parliament, and will be formulating now the next action plan on the Danish Parliament's sustainability strategy at national level. Moreover, the Sustainable Development Goals has been creating a number of new business opportunities for Danish energy management, because we work with the Sustainable Development Goals as we do, and a number of clients are contacting us right now in order to get our support to assist them on their way through the Sustainable Development Goals. And what you see here is a picture from Harvard University, where we have actually assisted Harvard University to turn their existing action plan, climate action plan, into an action plan and a strategy that was framed through the Sustainable Development Goals, because Harvard University wanted to demonstrate how their efforts and how their work with sustainability actually contributed directly to the Sustainable Development Goals. So we sat together with key persons from Harvard University's Sustainability Office and did this development and rechanging their existing strategies into a new strategy framed through the Sustainable Development Goals. We have had an assignment for the EC, where we have been monitoring energy efficiency projects in a huge number of countries, and they also asked us how could we, as a European Commission, show the contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, in this particular case, Goal 7, about access to affordable, reliable and sustainable modern energy. They wanted also to demonstrate and document how their effort through their support to these countries actually contributed to the Sustainable Development Goal 7. So we have been building up a monitoring system for the European Commission, how to monitor the progress of the projects, and now aligning it to the Sustainable Development Goals also. For our clients, just as you saw the projects that Yoga presented, our ESCO projects clients, we also assist them in turning their measures and their opportunities and the way they actually improve their building stock in a more energy efficient way, how it has a direct impact on the Sustainable Development Goals. And what you see here is a huge ESCO project that we have carried out for the capital region of Denmark, where we have been doing audit in a number of buildings and carried out energy efficiency procurement and design processes. And this is the result of this project. demonstrated and communicated through the Sustainable Development Goals. And it makes it very easy for the mayor of the capital region of Denmark and people which doesn't have a technical background to communicate in a more popular and in a more visual way how their project and how their effort actually contribute to this very, very important agenda on the sustainability worldwide. We have been doing the same in New York for high-rise buildings, new building design, which has been built as a passive house standard with a very, very low energy consumption. Again, we are demonstrating how this improved indoor quality actually contributes to Sustainable Development Goal 3 and so on. So it's a very visual way of communicating the efforts in each of these projects. And what you see here is developed by our very, very good graphic assistant in our company. So we are developing all these graphic elements ourselves, and we hand them over in a way and in a format that the client can actually use these infographics for their own purpose further on. So I think time is running right now. So it was a very, very short introduction to you on how we actually work with the Sustainable Development Goals, not only as a service, but also how we are actually taking it very serious within our own company. And we have aligned all our own activities and services and has coupled it through the Sustainable Development Goals. So with these words, I would like to thank you for having the floor and providing these information and sharing these information, and hopefully giving you an introduction to the Sustainable Development Goals.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Kristen Mariager. It's very interesting, your presentation. You highlight, how the SDGs, because you are involved as well in SDGs. In fact, IMT-GT sub-region, we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have also the blueprint for the Sustainable Urban Development Framework, SUDF. So actually, we will bring the global agenda to the local action. So we are really looking for that one, how to support this one, because the three countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, are so committed already to implement SDGs. And now on the local action, where the local government, the provinces, the cities, it is the key point for us here. So in this regard, for your information, speakers, in IMT-GT, there are two important elements in our collaborations. Number one is local government, where the cities and the provinces, they are very, very important to implement our project. And the second one is the businessmen in the Sahab region. So there are two important components for us, and they are our main partners implementing the collaboration in IMT-GT sub-region. It is very interesting. According to our SUDF document, more than 70% of the cities consider LED street lighting, energy efficiency building, solar heating, and also alternative fuel for transport as priority solution. So that's why, since we are talking now about the energy efficiency, we have to create our partnership, how to achieve, to reduce the greenhouse gas emission reduction. That is our contribution from the sub-region to the global agenda. Hopefully we will do that. And then for the next, we will have the Q&A. I will open the floors to the Q&A to all our participants. But before that, allow me first to kick off the discussion. After listening to your three presentation just now, it's opened our mind now, how important this, indeed, from the substantive point of view, that is very important. And also, we know that your company is also very concerned with this, and you have expertise, you know, in this energy efficiency, and you have long experience for this one, and also many experts on this one. So I just talk also with my team now, CIMT office. Might be a good also to think that perhaps we may try to step up our collaboration by the signing the MOU between your company and CIMT. So that is something that we are looking for as well. So let me discuss about this. How possible is it with the main purpose, how to bring your expertise to how you can assist us in sub-region for the energy efficiency. So thank you very much. Maybe if you have the views as well, starting from Mr. Mohsen Sundargad, if we have the views, how we can collaborate, how we can strengthen our collaboration in the future in the sub-region, how we can bring you more engaged in the sub-region. Maybe you have views on this one. Before I open the floors for the participant, because I see that Mayor of Penang, Dato Yutan Siang is still there. I believe that they will ask you something, but just if you have some views on that, how we are going to strengthen collaboration in the future. So I need your view for this one, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for offering the floor for me. There's coming up strange echo right now. I hope that you can hear me. Thank you. Yes, we are very interested in strengthening the cooperation, and I think that we can do that in many ways. We are, of course, present in the region, and we have already insights of what is happening. But one of the best way to be cooperating is actually that if we are getting in direct contact with you on specific projects and activities, and to that end I would offer you very much to be contacting us, and then we can set up meetings where we can, based on the information you're providing to us, coming up with suggestions for how we can be working together, and where we can see where there's some of these areas that we are specialists in can be of use for you. Because we are having, as Kirsten also was saying in her presentation, that we are having many ways of cooperating and collaborating. It can be with the local government, it can be regional governments, it can be with stakeholders of all sorts. So we are very open for all kinds of cooperations. And the best will be that if you are able to share information with us, and then we can provide a feedback when we have had the chance to look into it. So I think that we are able to handle also the language barrier with our office in KL, if that's coming up as an issue. So we are very open for cooperating in the region, and we have also a historical, as Jorge was telling, cooperation with IMT-GT in Malacca. So we are familiar with this form of cooperation.
For your positive reply on this one. Anything to add, Ms. Kristen Mariager? Maybe you have the views for this one?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm so happy to hear that the IMT region is focusing on the SDG already, and I knew that, of course. And you mentioned, Mr. Darlan, that you had two focal areas. One is how to work with the SDG at the local government level, but also how to assist or support the business sector. And I think actually this is a very, very strong point that you mentioned here, because the business sector is the one that actually should support the local government. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it at national level without including the business sector. So I think personally, based on my experience by working with the Sustainable Development Goals and the government and also the business sector, that we should somehow, or you should somehow set up some programs It could be workshops that the business sector could join in, so you could start building up the capacity and the knowledge about the Sustainable Development Goals, because without having this business sector to support you in this way and this huge effort it is to work with the Sustainable Development Goals, you will need the business sector to support you. They should understand the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals, how they can create new businesses, and so on. So what we have seen, and we have been very successful in doing, is together with the local government, the regional sector in Denmark, and these different businesses fora, is to set up these workshops. And it will be a hands-on workshop where they work actively. They bring in two members from their own organization, high level, and another person. So they cover all aspects within the business. So I think that could be an actual opportunity to you to develop such opportunities and offering programs that you could motivate the business sector to support you in your work. You will lead the way forward, but you need the support from the business.
Yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Kristen Mariager. I think that's a brilliant idea. So we are looking forward for the idea. We will collaborate with your office and also with my colleague Yoga Latron, how to materialize this one. So because we are approaching our time now, I think that it's time for me to invite the participant to address the question to you. But first of all, I would like to invite Dato Ying Tung Seang, the mayor of Penang Island in Malaysia. So Dato, I would like to invite you, give you opportunity if you have some comments or questions to our speakers. Dato, you have the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Pedal, for giving us an opportunity to listen to your speaker on this EE topic. So definitely, we have been working hard localizing the SDG, and there are many platforms that we are collaborating. IMT-GT is also one of the important platforms between the three countries we are putting. And also inside the IMT-GT, we also have our Green Cities Mayors Council. So happen to be, I'm also the current president up to this year. And we had a few meetings that are focusing on this SDG. And this today's topic on EE also is one of the subtopics. We have 7 subtopics on the energy. Actually, is one of the important and very relevant that we heard from our expert here, from Mr. Yoga, Kristen, and Morten, and also all other speakers here. You are right. We, as a local government here, is a third-tier government closest to the people that we are the frontliner, I would say that, if we want to localize the SDG. So in terms of the topic today, energy efficiency, that I'm quite impressed with what Mr. Yoga's ESCO approach that. So we welcome you to the Pulau Pinang also to explore any building to be retrofitted for that kind of scheme. I think this is a good initiative for us to do that. And just to share with some of you here, we, City Council of Penang Island here, we have gazetted this EE into our uniform building bylaw. If in the Malaysia context, our NS 1525, in our uniform building bylaw is section 38A. So for the building submission from the private developer or to certain size, they must conform to this EE. Because we are practicing the GBI, so we encouraging those development go for this GBI. Under GBI, EE is one of the very important component here. Of course, just now we also heard from this Ms. Kristen, your slide deck, very good. We are fully aware Denmark is way ahead, not only EE, even your waste management also actually is one of the benchmark. We are eyeing how you do your holistic waste management. For your EE, also very interesting. There's a lot of things we can learn, and we are looking forward to collaborate more, even with Denmark or any other partner over here. Thank you, Pak Firdaus.
Thank you very much, Dato, Mayor of Penang Islands, for your information, speakers. Dato Yu Tong Seang, besides as the Mayor of Penang Island, and now he is also the chairman for the IMT-GT Mayor Council, Green Council Council. So thank you very much. We have also very good progress under the program of Mayor Green Council in IMT-GT. Thank you very much, Dato. And then give the floor to speakers. Any response from you or any to respond?
Mr. Chairman, if you just will allow me to comment on the mayor's suggestions and ideas that I would like to say that we would be very happy to come and meet you in Penang shortly. Physically, it is still a little bit problem for me to be traveling because we are a little bit locked down here in Denmark yet, but I'm sure that we can find a way to be meeting and discussing these opportunities further. We would be very interested in it. So, Mr. Mayor, if you will allow us to contact you and set up a meeting shortly.
Yes, we are looking forward for your visit also. Penang always welcome you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I have been living 2 years in Penang, so it'd be good to come back.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Dato, and also Morten Sundergaard, for your response direct to Mayor Penang Island. So hopefully we will support your meeting, whether virtually or maybe we have to wait a little bit because we are still under the COVID-19 at the moment. But you know Penang already, as you said, and you know also the Laksa Penang, of course. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. May I invite another participants? Oh, Pak Syahrian from yes, Pak Syahrian from North Sumatra. Please, you have the floor, Pak Syahrian.
Okay, I think okay, thank you, Pak Rajini. Sorry that I have to first before you. Thank you very much for the presentations. It's been very good and fruitful communication and informations that we receive from all the guest speakers today. I noticed that several high importance information from Mr. Yoga in regards to the initiative of the energy efficiencies, and also from Mrs. Christens in regards to how the business community, business people need to be involved on this program. So I'm representing the Joint Business Councils, actually from the private sectors in IMT-GT, and representing all the members of the GBC from Indonesia. We welcome Deep and Dan to them to come to Indonesia, especially in my hometown in Medan, in North Sumatra. We already have several initiatives, especially for the green buildings, in general street lightings, and more on the building efficiencies initiatives has been discussed among our business people and the governments. Looking at the near futures, the government itself, the government of North Sumatra has been issuing some initiative in regards to the how to handle some of the issues on the waste management as well. So later on, probably we can trying to discuss further about this topic as well. So I think the initiative from Mr. Yoga in regards to the capacity building, where we need to discuss further on how deep or DIM can involve in our sustainable goals, Sustainable Development Goals program, where our local government has been intent to do. So we are looking forward in the near futures that the capacity building can be done to a GBC, including Malaysia, Thailand, and also Indonesia. And we are looking forward to have a fruitful discussion, a more deep dive on the initiatives to making sure that it can be implemented during this pandemic. I think that's from Indonesia. Thank you very much for the floor. I get back to CIMT. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Syarian. I think it's a very valid question you raised just now. I think I will, to save our time, I would like to invite Mr. Rajini Ramlan from GBC Malaysia. So for your information, we have in each of the respective countries, we have GBC Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. And Mr. Syarian Harab just now also currently the chairman of IMT-GT GBC. So the three GBC, right? So now I would like to invite Mr. Rajini Ramlan, GBC Malaysia. You have the floor, Pak Rajini, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Pak Firdaus. It's very short and brief. I would like to reiterate what Mr. Chairman has suggested just now earlier, that probably after this very fruitful meeting, we would move forward toward establishing what we call as a working group on energy at the CIMT level. And of course, I would like to also support the proposal by Mr. Yoga earlier in the presentation, and just a few minutes ago by our colleague, Mr. Syarian, that capacity building is one of the component and element important within these working groups. And Mr. Chairman, I think the initiative that we are moving forward should be based on 4 elements. One is the importance of the local government, especially initiative to be created within the Chief Ministers and Governors Forum, because I believe that the local government are the key player factors in this energy efficiency management program. And of course, another component important is the probably the private sector should be the major player in this kind of initiative. Therefore, we are looking forward for a kind of technological collaboration, or probably technology transfer from deep to regional private sectors. And of course, we are looking forward for a sustainable financial model for this implementation program. And I would like to support what being presented by Ms. Kristen Mariager just now, that the civil societies that lead the awareness and buy-in from the communities is one of the key factors in making this initiative successful. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. A point of view from JBC Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Rajini. Now I would like to invite, if any, our colleague from Thailand, JBC Thailand, if any, before I give the floor to the speakers. No, at the moment? Okay, maybe we will invite later on, if any. So now I give the floor to our speakers, please, or Mr. Yoga to respond on. Please, the floor is Mr. Yoga.
Thank you, Pak. Mr. Rajini, I value your comments in here. I mean, to set up some sort of a working group, and we have to work closer moving forward. And yes, it's imperative that we start off with somewhat a capacity building to ensure that before we embark on the bigger picture, technology transfer and so on, there is at least a knowledge transfer to increase the awareness capacity at the relevant provinces. And Pak Syarian Harahap, it's always positive. It's very I mean, on a professional and personal note, happy to know that provinces in our region, Southeast Asia, are already embarking on energy efficiency measures or towards the green energy roadmap. It only makes players like us, ESCO companies like us, more interested and to participate in your respective provinces. And I'm sure we will be able to take up the challenge and to meet the demands from the provinces and state governments in our Southeast Asia or IMT region. Actually, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yoga, for your response to Mr. Rajini and also to Mr. Syarian just now. Just to echo, if any question later on, just to echo what my colleague said just now. First of all, with regard the capacity building. So CIMT view that this is very, very important for the sub-region, especially for the local government and also for GBC, for business sector as well. So what I can inform you in this regard, so CIMT IMT-GT will have the summit this year in October. It is already confirmed. And then prior to the summit, IMT-GT summit, we have also the ministerial meeting to be held sometime in September. So in September, yeah. So what I can propose, just to materialize what my colleague proposed just now and also mentioned by Mr. Yoga about the capacity building program, is it possible for us to kick off the ball to join collaboration between CIMT and DIP at DEM to conduct the capacity building program just prior to the summit, IMT-GT summit in October. I think that that is also what our local government and GBC also looking for. The participant is very clear. So we are inviting the representative or the participant from the local government, whoever to be appointed later on, and also from GBC. And then because through this only 2 or 3 hours having a discussion with your company, I think that it is not enough. We have to go deeper. Why important this energy efficiency for the local government. So in this regard, just to materialize what we have discussed, if we can conduct the joint training program under collaboration between DIP and DEM and CIMT, it will be perfect, I guess. So the time maybe we can discuss later on. But I would like to suggest if it is before September, because September is ministerial meeting, so that we can report to our ministers as well that we have done something with DIP and DEM in terms of the energy efficiency. Thank you very much. That's only for my comment. Anything our colleague who is joining us would like to have questions or clarification from our speakers, please. I notice here we have colleague from local government, also from Aceh, from West Sumatra, and also from another region. If you have any questions, please. We have also here from Jambi. Thank you. We have also here from National Secretariat IMT-GT in Indonesia, Pak Tri also join us. Yes, from Thailand, we have also a National Secretariat with us. Thank you very much. Any question from the floor, from the participants to our? Yeah. Okay. If can you close it? Yeah. So I think that because it is already 17:21 Kuala Lumpur time now. This of course after almost office hours already. It's okay, and also morning in Denmark, in Copenhagen. So that is the different times, you know, between us. You know. Anyway, I think that this is a very good, fruitful discussion of our FGD today, and we have very good response, you know, from the local government represented by Mayor of Penang, Dato' Yu Teng Siang, and also our GBC joint business sectors also convey the same views for us. I think it's time for us now to materialize that one. So that why from our view, CIMT also express the views already. If possible, we can do something in terms of the capacity building. It's up to you. We are ready. My team is also more than ready to collaborate how to materialize this one. So that is just to convey a few points. And also my colleague later on, before we are closing the our discussion this afternoon. So again, I would like to say thank you to our speakers, Mr. Morten Sundergaard, for your time in our discussion today, and also Mr. Christian Mariager. Thank you very much for your time. And this is not the end, but this is the beginning for us to collaborate. And also Mr. Yoga as well, my good friend. So you have been with us in IMT-GT, and we are always together in IMT-GT meeting. We have to continue our effort. We need your support to assist our local government, our businessmen in the sub-region. So thank you again for your participation, and also for our colleague who joining us in this discussion this afternoon. Thank you very much from me. And then just to close our panel session this afternoon, I would like to invite the deputy directors are here to close the meeting, and also if possible to highlight if you have some in your note. Here you have the floor, please.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fidaus. Good morning and good afternoon, Mr. Morten Sundergaard, Vice President of Danish Energy Management, Mr. Christian Mariager, Secretary of BM International, Honorable Dato' Yu Tung Siang, Mayor of Penang Island, and representative from IMT-GT from business, state and local council. Thank you. We have a very fruitful discussion this afternoon. I would like to thank the Danish Energy Management for their three comprehensive shared presentation and discussion on the way forward to obtain in-depth information on concepts, perception, and ideas of the group in exploring the possible collaboration on energy efficiency between IMT-GT, particularly the states, provinces, and local governments, and DIP as a partner. The discussion initiative is in line with the implementation of our 17 SDG principle, which is participating states, provinces, and local council in ensuring knowledge transfer achieved. The IMT-GT countries are committed to implement the SDG, which we also agree that the SDG will act as a platform to create a new partnership and business opportunities. We certainly hope that the assistance given by DM to IMT-GT countries will be extended, which will cover more provinces, state, and local council in the sub-region. We agree that there are many ways of cooperation. These include, of course, the capacity building program to our state, province, local council officers as a kickstart of our initiative. All the information asked by Mr. Morton, we are very happy to hear this, and we will conduct our internal consultation with member countries on this to identify the best for our collaboration. Thank you. Back to you, Pak.
Thank you very much, Pak Kia. Having said, the remark from Pak Kia, so that is the end of our discussions this afternoon. And from us, from CIMT again, thank you very much to our speakers, Mr. Morten Sondergaard, Krista Mariager, and Pak Yoga, and also to all our participants, including Mayor of Penang, who is still with us until this afternoon, until the end of the session. Thank you very much for your time, Mayor. Look forward. We will do our best. CIMT will do its best to support, to materialize collaboration between DIM and DEEP with the local government in the future. Again, thank you very much and stay safe. Good afternoon and good morning, Denmark. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.